right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast known as Split Decision, brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. studios. Bueller and Dodge on the mic, giving you the MMA news, of course, breaking down some fights and looking forward to the fights that are happening this weekend, probably right now. No?
It's happening like at 3
o'clock in the morning.
He's not good with the time conversion thing.
But he's 2 for 2 now on Dodge and Bueller on the mic.
Yeah.
Flip the sign.
Yep.
Two
days.
Yeah. two podcasts without an incident. Of course, you can get us on Spreaker, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. You can also get us on iTunes. If you subscribe, you'll never miss a show. You can get us on Facebook at Split Decision MMA Podcast, on Twitter and Instagram, SD_MMA, and our official website, which is splitdecisionmma.com. Doesn't matter how you get us, just get us, show us some love, give us some likes, and tell your friends, of course. And if you haven't checked it out yet, there's an interview with Felice Herrig online. Felice Herrig.
She's not a fish. She's not a fish, Joe.
It's a fun interview. She was a lot of fun to talk to. So,
she's awesome.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out. So yeah, do that. Before we get into the fight breakdowns, we jump into some news. We got Francis Carmont getting released by the UFC.
Francis Carmont.
They should keep him just because of his name.
Who went 0-3 in the UFC.
They should not keep him at all.
He came in the UFC middleweight division on 6 straight victories. Did not do so well when he came to the UFC. Now he is 6-3.
Yeah, he's like that firework dud that you get on the 4th of July that you think is going to be the big one.
Again, just a big snake.
Who bought this?
It just keeps going down the block. Is that all it does?
Who's going to clean all this shit up? Going inside.
Yeah, that's the one. Who's going to clean this shit up?
I'm leaving.
That's why you go to someone else's house.
Yeah, always go to somebody else's house for fireworks.
So he's been released from the UFC. Are you sad to see Mr. Carmont go?
No, I'm sad that he didn't, blow up like he was supposed to.
Oh, all right.
I thought, when he came in 6-0, you think he's going to do some damage, and then this just goes to show you never know when somebody's, transplanting from another organization. It kind of proves the point. You're not really being tested in these other organizations, and the UFC does have the best.
We have Bobby Green has gone on Twitter and decided to call out pretty much everybody. He started out with, I'm calling out Ross, the real deal. He's calling out Norman Park and calling out Miles Fury Jury. I like guys who decide who's going to go first. I'm calling out Abel Trujo, Joe Lauzon, George Masvidal if he wins his next fight. I'm calling out Last Call, Ian McCall. Or no, Last Call is Danny Castillo, yeah. Jim Miller, and anyone else I was supposed to fight but had to pull out due to injury. I know it makes no sense, and I have no interest in the title. If it comes, that's great. My only intentions are to slay the entire division.
Get a little cocky after his last win, huh?
Right?
Why not?
Do you think anybody's going to bite? Would you like to see him against any of these guys?
My question is the UFC going to continue to let the Twitter trash talk go, or are they going to try to put a stop to it?
What's wrong with it? Just like guys calling guys out in the ring. I think it's good.
I think it's good too. But at the same time, with the oversensitivity that everybody's getting because of all the shit that's going on.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that bad. Like this, he's just calling out guys that he wants to fight. It's not like he's saying I'm going to murder your family.
That's where
like I'll punch your wife.
That's where it starts.
And he didn't say anything about I'm going to Ray Rice you.
Yeah. But see, that's where it starts. Then he gets somebody who bites, and then that person who bites, that's where the real trash talk begins. Now you're right. He's just calling people out here. But then what if the wrong person bites and somebody says something personal? All of a sudden you get like I'm going to fucking burn your house down. And
I think the warning shot is going to come up from this hearing that they're taking Jones and Cormier through. Whatever they decide to do with these two about the whole pushing each other incident, I think that's going to set the tone for exactly what the UFC wants to promote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Are they still giving out Twitter bonuses?
No. They stopped doing that.
All right, just curious.
Yeah. Not at least from what I've seen. I haven't seen anything recently.
All right.
Talking about it. But yeah, if you want to go into the Jones Cormier thing, both of them had letters delivered to their doors. Mm-hmm. They have to attend a NAC meeting and could face fines up to $250,000.
Which you might not have to pay, like if your name's Shale.
Well, he's decided he's not fighting anymore, so of course he doesn't have to pay.
No, it's ridiculous. I don't, it's like giving me a traffic ticket and telling me, well, if you don't want to drive anymore.
If you decide you're not going to drive anymore, your ticket's waived.
Bullshit. They rack up interest. You get a bench warrant.
But you can still not pay it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but
dude,
it's not like Shale's fine goes away. He still has a fine. He's just choosing not to pay it.
If he can't fight, what's the point of giving him a fine? He can't come back and fight.
Right. And as long as he doesn't come back and fight, he can run from the fine.
All right.
So can they. They get fined $250,000 a piece, and they decide, well, fuck it, then I'm not going to pay it, and I'm going to show up at the UFC anymore. I know. It's possible in the thing that they'll do it, and then Uncle Dana goes, well, I need this fight to happen, so he pays our fines for him.
Good for him. Nevada State Athletic Commission did mail him out. John Jones says they have not received anything yet. Daniel Cormier, who was on UFC last night, said, I got mine in the mail. I signed for it. I tried to give it back. They wouldn't accept it, so I guess I have to show up Tuesday. And then people are saying basically the brawl did not take place at a regulated event. However, NAC statutes allow for disciplinary action to be taken for behavior while prepping for a regulated contest. So that's where they could basically get in trouble for this. We don't know exactly what's going to happen.
What rule did they violate? Is there a specific rule that they violated?
I haven't seen.
Or is this like one of those retrospective things like, oh shit, you shouldn't have done that, we're going to go ahead and fine you for it? Or is it like you broke, Article 2, Section 4's rule of...
Yeah, I haven't seen the exact rules
excessive
yet.
Force.
But we'll end up seeing what's going to happen. Could be just a warning, could be their entire purse is what they're saying.
Wow.
So we'll have to find out when that's going down Tuesday. So I'm sure.
Finding their entire purse is what's the point of fighting?
It's for the belt, dude.
Fuck that.
Doesn't mean that Dana White's not going to give you a locker room bonus or they're not going to give you anything extra. It's just the reported payout.
That'd be some bullshit right there. If I was Dana,
but like, hey,
the NSAC, I'd be like, okay, you guys are getting paid $5 for this fight.
Exactly. It's going to be like, what was his name that fought for $1? You remember that guy?
Yeah, who was that?
I'm trying. I think it was Hermes Franca.
Might have been.
He fought a boxer for like $1.
Yeah.
Just prove point.
It
wasn't about the money.
Nope. And he signed it too. It was great.
Except for now, Hermes Franca's in jail.
Todd Duffy. Todd Duffy is going to be returning to the UFC cage at UFC 181 December 6th, going up against Anthony Hamilton after a 2-year layoff. Are you happy to see Todd Duffy come back?
See what he does after 2 years.
It's going to be very interesting. I mean, he came in, originally the UFC is the next great white hype for the heavyweight division. He was huge. He had the quickest knockout ever.
Right.
Up until they confirmed it with Bang's knockout and Korean Zombie's knockout. And then he kind of went away chasing money, fought Overeem over in Dream, lost. Kind of bounced around organizations, came back, and he had a nerve disorder that just wouldn't allow him to fight in the UFC. He said everything's cleared up now. So he's going to be on the same card as Travis Brown, Brendan Schaub, Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez, and Chris Weidman and Vitor Belfort. So that's a pretty big card.
That's a nice card. I like
for him
that.
to be on. Of course, that's the end of the year card in December.
Is it the New Year's card then?
No. New Year's card happens the closest to New Year's, so it'll probably be the 4th or 5th or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
That's what they consider their New Year's card.
Got it.
Yeah. So then we have UFC on Fox 13, which is looking to go down in December as well. December 13th for this, and this is going to be live on Fox, coming from Phoenix, Arizona, and the card is stacking up pretty good. And fights announced this week are going to be Alistair Overeem against Stefan Struve.
All right.
Gabriel Gonzaga against Matt Metrione.
All right.
So if you fight Struve now, you just like step to him real fast, right? Like a feint and go.
Well, it's Overeem, so who knows?
Oh, we could have the Rocky thing, where he hit the dude and they both went out at the same time.
I can totally see that happening.
Yeah,
I can completely see that happening.
One from the punch and then the other one from the surprise of the knockout. Oh my god!
And rumors are that Junior Dos Santos will be fighting Stipe Miocic.
Cool.
On this card.
That's a cool fight. Gonzaga and Mitrione's interesting because Gonzaga seems to have come back with a newfound strategy for fighting, and Mitrione's knockout in his last fight was super surprising.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
So that's cool.
You're not happy about Overeem and Struve?
No. I think one of them might die in that fight, honestly.
Honestly, I think it's just so that he's done with their contracts.
He says he wanted to fight as soon as possible. He told Dana White he wants to fight as soon as possible.
No, I mean Dana.
Loss. No, I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. So I'm sure Dana's like, all right, fine, we'll give you the next fight.
Yeah.
Like,
I owe Reem one more. He's on his way out. You're on your way out. Let's have you fight each other.
Yeah, Stefan Struve is going to throw a big overhand right. He's going to his aortic valve is going to pop. But he's going to connect with Overeem on the hit, so they're both just going to die in the ring.
So now what happens in this case if he dies in the ring?
It's not going to happen. The doctors won't allow him to fight with the aortic leaking valve problem.
You don't know. It could be all sealed up when they look at it the day before, and if he throws too big of a punch, and the hose pops out.
All right.
I can't believe you don't even want to entertain this.
What do you want to say? We're gonna have the first death in MMA. We've already had that. We're gonna be the first death in UFC, and you're gonna be shocked, and everybody's gonna be. It's gonna be tragic.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about it?
Look, he's mad because he thought the last murder that was gonna happen in the UFC didn't result in death.
And I bet people money, and nobody wanted to take the bet.
I know. In under a minute, he called it. He's gonna be rocking on a porch when he's like 60.
I called that fight. Nobody wanted to bet me. It's too bad he didn't die. Then people would have taken my money.
Everyone would have moved away from him. Everybody in the entire vicinity would have been like, "Fuck this guy."
He knows when they're gonna die.
All of a sudden, Dodge puts on his fucking clothes.
I told you he was gonna die.
Terrible.
Want to know when you're going?
This is pretty much it. You got till next Thursday.
I'm just gonna follow you around for a little while. Is that okay? George Gurgel has retired from fighting. He's going to stick to coaching from now on.
He's a better coach than he is a fighter, that's for sure.
And he said this is because his mom passed away back in August, and it was her wish for him to stop fighting and to continue coaching.
Yeah, he's a great coach. It's a smart decision. I think he'll be a lot more successful doing that, actually.
Are you
a lot easier on your skull?
True. Yeah. He's one of those guys who I think he can teach, but he can't do.
Yeah, he can. He didn't ever see him pull a trigger. Ever.
Great jiu-jitsu. He was a great coach for Rich Franklin.
Yep.
He had real solid credentials, but once he was like, "Oh, I'm going to fight too," it was like, "No, you're not."
Xyience is no longer in a sponsorship with the UFC. They have been sold to a new company. The new company is called Big Red Inc. Out of Austin, Texas. So they will no longer be an official sponsor of the UFC. What do you think this does for Ronda Rousey?
I don't know,
that
because
was her number one sponsor. It's all she wore was Xyience. Or technically she wore the UFC as well as a logo.
Well, now the big thing is the phone company.
Yeah, Metro PCS.
But,
just gonna say Metro.
Yeah.
But can Xyience still sponsor fighters?
I don't see why not.
I don't think it's a company.
Yeah.
I thought it was the UFC's drink. I didn't think that Xyience was its own thing.
It was its own thing. The UFC picked it up.
I thought the UFC decided to manufacture an energy drink. All right. Well, whatever.
There you go.
I'm stupid.
No more Xyience.
This isn't news.
Are you
Did
sad?
Xyience come in after Muscle Farm?
No, way before.
Way before?
Xyience was during the Ultimate Fighter 1.
Oh, okay.
They, in fact,
Damn,
they got a Xyience sponsorship, a Xyience contract to be whoever won the Ultimate Fighter. That was part of the big deal.
Wow.
You got a free sponsorship deal with Xyience. You got your contract with the UFC. You got your car, which, by the way, Forrest Griffin is still driving the shit out of his Scion.
Yeah?
Has anybody seen it? Has anybody seen his Scion? Has anybody seen his Scion? It is really, really sad looking.
Is it beat to shit or?
Oh
what?
yeah.
Well, I mean, we're season 20.
Dude, where does he just puts all his money in the bank, huh?
Yeah.
Because he don't dress like all classy, dude.
Still driving this thing.
Why not mob it around, man? That thing's gonna last forever.
Oh, they don't show it lately. I saw a picture of it lately. He was talking.
It's not even a cool one. It's like the lunchbox.
It's the original.
Yeah.
It's the original.
It's the toaster.
Yeah. And he was on a recent. They did it was called TUF Roundtable, and it was Forrest Griffin, Rashad Evans, Chuck Liddell, and I'm trying to think somebody else. No, I think that was it. And they were all on. Oh, and Matt Serra, and they were talking about the Ultimate Fighter, getting ready to go into the Ultimate Fighter 20, and what it was like to be a contestant, what it was like to be a coach, because all of them have been contestants and coaches. Other than Chuck, he was just a coach. And they're showing that he was still rocking his Scion, and it's like the front window is completely cracked. He's missing a tail light. There's scratches up and down the side of it. It's always dirty. Like someone took a permanent marker and went all over the sides of it. It is just.
It looks pretty clean here.
Yeah, that's when he first got it,
isn't it?
But he still rocks it. He says it's got over 180,000 miles on it.
Oh, those are good for 4, man. He's solid. Nothing to worry about there.
Frank Mir says he's uncertain about his fighting future, that he may retire soon. He hasn't come to a conclusive idea yet. Frank Mir may not be fighting anymore.
Who wrote that?
Yeah, right?
Frank Mir is currently on the wrong end of a 4-fight losing streak. So that means he's on the winning side?
Is there a right end of a 4-fight?
Frank Mir is currently on the wrong end.
Right,
of
he's on the bad end of it.
He's not on the winning end of the right end of a 4-fight losing streak. No. Is there a right end?
No.
Losing
it's
streak.
It's like an opposite.
It doesn't say left end. It says wrong. So in your head, left is wrong.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like lefties.
You don't.
They're weird.
They may be smarter than us, but they die sooner. That's what the stats say.
Because
they have to deal with all the right-handed things.
Yeah, because all the safety handles are on the right.
They always give the left-handed kids the left-handed special scissors with the stupid rubber grip, and they always have the rounded nose edges.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Can't trust lefties with sharp objects.
No.
Can't be backstabbing bitches.
Someone's angry. Nurmagomedov recently showed up on the MMA Hour as well as Ultimate Fighter UFC Tonight, saying that he believes he is the number one contender at 155, and he believes that Anthony Pettis is ducking him and does not want to fight him. He doesn't understand why Anthony Pettis is calling out Nate Diaz, says that he's never fought anybody that's good, basically. He says his record's not good. I'm undefeated. He also thinks that he should be able to jump over Gilbert Melendez. He realizes Gilbert's going to be getting a title shot next, but he wants the next title shot. How do you feel about Nurmagomedov?
Tell him, Joey, we don't give a fuck what you think, Nurmagomedov.
Why am I telling him that? I don't give a fuck what you think. Nurmagomedov! I don't understand. Okay, so he's saying that
Nurmagomedov.
Melendez being a former Strikeforce champion is cool, but him beating Diego Sanchez isn't a big deal.
Right.
But who is Nurmagomedov beat the number one contender in his
He's
mind?
undefeated.
I'm undefeated. Does that make me the number one contender?
Not at 155. Hell no. Have you seen yourself?
We need the whole
shit,
canned. We need the can.
Wow. Listen to this fucking guy. He flips a couple tires for fucking 6 months, and all of a sudden, he's fat shaming people.
Just you. Just you.
Yeah, he waited till Matt left the room.
I can't spell this name.
It was right in front of you.
There's on another one.
MMA fighter with cool hat.
Okay, so he
Rafael Dos Anjos, Pat Healy,
that's a
Abel
good one.
Trujo, Thiago Tavares,
Yeah,
Gleason
he's
Tibau,
He's
Kamal
got- okay,
Shalarus.
That's fine. Kamal Shalarus is nothing. That guy proved to be a...
But that was his first fight in the UFC.
And Kamal Shalarus is already out of the UFC. He proved to be a dud.
Because Nurmagomedov
But looking at his record, okay, I can kind of see what he's saying. Tibau, Tavares, Trujillo, Healy. Those are actually some
Dos
good wins.
Anjos, your favorite.
2 hands. Yeah. That's
Actually, 2 wings.
2 years.
2
2
years.
ears.
Years? Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. But like looking at his record now, like that's he makes a pretty strong case.
All right. So you're all right. I mean, obviously, he's still coming off knee injury, so he has to get through that first.
But after Melendez, I mean, people want to see Melendez. He was a former Strikeforce champion,
Yes.
and so yeah, you have to have this fight.
Now, I think what he's worried about is that Eddie Alvarez and or Donald Cerrone, who are going to be fighting coming up very soon, one of the winners of that fight could skip over him and fight the winner of Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez. And I think that's still a smart fight. Obviously, with Eddie Alvarez winning, Eddie Alvarez has been everywhere. He's been Bellator champion. Yeah. He's been the Elite XC champion. He's been, Dream champion. He's been everywhere. You know, and Cerrone knocking off as many wins and fights as he's had, he could very well be number one contender. So I understand where he's coming from. I'd like to see maybe them fight him, but then you knock off another guy and you get shoved back down. So
the money fight there for the UFC too, and it's a legitimate concern. The money fight is Alvarez.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah. So that's it's going to be difficult for him to swallow, but you know what? That's how life works, man.
I think with Coker handling Bellator now, some of these fighters you just have to consider that they're in the UFC. You know what I mean?
You think just like he did Alvarez, just going to let him go fight the UFC?
Well, I
mean, I don't see anybody really in Bellator that he needs, that the UFC needs right now.
Yeah, but we were saying for a while.
Other than Alvarez was the guy.
But we did say for a while.
They have Rhino.
Doug Marshall?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's going to be interesting to see him fight this weekend when he fights Manhoof.
Yeah.
That's the only fight I'm going to be watching on Bellator this weekend. But otherwise, who does Bellator have right now?
I don't have nobody right off the top of my
Emmanuel
head for
Newton,
Bellator.
who just knocked out King Mo with the spinning back fist and then turns around and knocks out, what's his name? Joey Beltran with the spinning back fist? I mean...
Right. Okay, I think more what I'm trying to say is you should have never counted, like you said, we all knew Alvarez was there.
Yeah, he was, in my opinion, he was the guy that needed to get out of his Bellator contract.
Even though he wasn't in the UFC, we knew where he was when he was in the UFC.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's better, I guess.
Got it.
Another guy calling guys out, Rafael Swanko, says he doesn't want to fight anybody except for TJ Dillashaw in his next fight.
God damn, why can't he say he doesn't want to fight anybody except for Bobby Green, and then they can just get that out of the way?
Yeah.
Right? You would think so, but he's got to fight Brian Caraway first. After that, he says he doesn't want to fight anybody but TJ Dillashaw, and especially because Dominic Cruz is his friend, so he can't fight him.
Oh.
I hate this friend shit.
Because you would fight your friends.
I would. We have to. But respectfully.
You guys did it for fucking free.
Respectfully. I would never fucking kill him. Respectfully.
I don't think I'm friends with anybody that I wouldn't try to at least attempt to punch in the face for a fight salary.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anybody I wouldn't let punch me in the face if we could split their fight salary.
I'd punch you in the face.
I'd let you punch me for 20-30%.
This room's starting to freak me out, man.
We love it. This side of the room loves to fight.
I'm not going to get out of here without getting punched.
No.
That's what I'm starting to feel like.
So we have the UFC Japan coming up tonight at probably like 3 in the morning on live on Fight Pass.
Cool main event.
Some things that are going down. First of all, Mark Hunt had to cut 19 pounds in 24 hours.
Holy shit.
And he made weight today.
What'd they do? Take out his colon?
They said he just sat in the sauna all day.
How?
And he didn't pass out.
Yeah, people die doing that.
No. Oh, this is the other thing, and I read it somewhere else. They we're talking about how much weight he had at one point, right?
Yeah.
They believe
He walked in over 300 pounds.
Okay.
At the beginning of his
He could
camp.
have been full of water. He
Yeah.
could have been drinking pitchers
True.
of water just to mind fuck people or
It's true.
There's a lot of stuff.
I mean, he
that
does crazy
could have
things
done.
like when he's not on
Yeah.
carbs, he thinks he's getting fired and getting out of the UFC.
Yeah, remember
so.
that whole thing? Which we found out was actually a contract negotiation thing going on, right?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Nice.
Another fighter going to be on this card, Rin Nakai. Now, we recently talked about her, was it like a month ago maybe? A couple weeks when she got signed to the UFC.
Yeah.
Has very strange videos on YouTube and on the Pancrase websites. She is the queen of Pancrase right now. She is their champion. Very big in Japan, but not necessarily as a fighter. They're saying that women's MMA is not a huge thing in Japan.
Because they don't like the thought of any woman whooping their ass.
Yeah.
Well, some of them do. But
She recently
Behind closed doors.
recently went to the internet asking for a nickname because she doesn't have one, and hilarity ensued because it's the internet. So nicknames we have Rin Passabru. We have the Little Teapots because, quote, she's short and stout. Rin Tintin Nakai.
Clever.
Big boobed porn fetish tentacle monster.
Nakai.
Look,
Thighs
let's back up.
Thighs and eyes.
No, let's back up. We got to do this. If we're going to do this, let's do this right. Rin, big boob, porn fetish, tentacle monster, Nakai. That work?
In this corner.
Rin, thighs and eyes, Nakai.
I like that
You
one.
like that one? Rin, the She-Hulk, Nakai.
It's not as good as after the other ones.
Yeah, but you get the She-Hulk.
That's true. And you got there you go.
You gotta stretch
Rin,
some of them.
Beast from the East. No, Beast from the Far East.
There we go.
Nakai. Rin Nakai Minaj.
Right.
I don't even know if you can't even yell that one. That's
No.
just awkward.
So's the other one.
Rin, Big Trouble in Little Nakai. What? Rin, we are all but one, except you. You suck, Nakai.
I don't even get that.
It's the fucking internet.
Rin Hootie McBoob Nakai.
From when they're fighting in Ireland.
Rin, I'm not Brazilian, so don't call me Hin, Nakai.
Rin Tentacles Nakai.
Rin, the goddess buddy, Nakai. These are great. They're much better when you yell them.
Yeah.
And what's this? All I do is Rin Nakai? Oh, dude.
I like Rin Job.
What about Muscle Hamster?
The Muscle Hamster.
Go ahead, man.
The Atomic Bunny. What else we got?
You take the muscle monster.
And in this corner, thick, solid, tights, Rin Nakai.
And then the that's a good one, go.
Hey, what, the last one?
Yeah.
Rin Original Sin Nakai.
So I don't know. What do you I don't know why she asked the internet.
Just to get hits and retweets.
Uh,
For this reason exactly is why she asked you.
Misha Tate says she should be called the Asian Persuasion, which is just racist.
Racist.
Racist. Where are you, Albert?
That's exactly why he doesn't come back over here.
He sleeps a lot.
There's not a cheeseburger place on the way. So yeah, we are going to have Ultimate Fight Night Japan going down tonight again at 3 in the morning. Maximo Blanco fighting on this card. We got a lot of Japanese, Chinese, and even some Korean fighters. We got Gayuk Lim. Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy are going to be fighting on this card. Sam Cecilio taking a fight on this card. Your main card is Kyoji Horiguchi against John De Los Reyes. Kichi Kumamoto against Richard Walsh. Misha Tate against Rin Nakai. Sexyama back in the cage.
Oh wow! What?
Also making his return, Amir Sabdallah.
I was a big fan of Amir Sabdallah.
Amir Sabdallah against Sexyama coming down. I like that fight. Miles Jury, Takanori Gomi is going to be an absolute war. And then we have, of course, your main event, Mark Hunt against Roy Nelson.
Rock'em sock'em robots, dude.
Yeah.
If Roy Nelson's smart, though, which he is very smart when it comes to getting in the cage, he will just sub Mark Hunt.
Yeah, but you got to get him to the ground first.
Can he?
And to be honest,
like legs?
No.
Or
here's my thing:
body. You think upper body?
Roy Nelson has very, very, very good Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Amazing jiu-jitsu.
However,
and
I don't see him being able to get Mark Hunt down that easily because his takedowns are not great. Roy Nelson's takedowns are not great.
He has Brazilian takedowns, which suck.
Yeah, and so I think it's going to be very difficult. And Mark Hunt looked pretty damn good with his takedown defense in his last fight.
Yeah. I think Mark Hunt's kryptonite is a Kimura, dude.
Yeah,
it's like
he lost like 6 fights in a row to Kimura.
Yeah. And with Roy Nelson's jiu-jitsu, I think that is a smart way to play it. But you have a good point.
Yeah, getting him to the ground is going to be tough.
And you can't. I mean, Roy Nelson's big, but Mark Hunt's big enough to where you can't just fall on him.
Yeah.
No, be interesting. Be really interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be. They're saying a lot of people like this fight because it's also two big guys who have big guy physiques. This isn't Czech Congo going up against Roy Nelson, or one guy looks like he should be in shape and one guy doesn't. These are two big guys.
This is a literal rubber match.
Yeah, who like to swing a lot.
Yeah. Don't blink on this fight.
Michelin versus Michelin.
And then we had, let's see. So then when you go to recap, we had our UFC Fight Night that was in Brazil. Jessica on the main card, we have Jessica Arande taking out Larissa Pacheco, submission guillotine in the first round. Uriel Alcantara over Russell Doan. Santiago Ponzibibio?
Sure.
Bibio. Taking out Wendell Oliveira, TKO round 1. Leonardo Santos over Efren Escarudo. Why is he still fighting? We talk about this every time. Effie. I guess because they needed a Latin fighter.
It's probably because they needed a Latin fighter.
He was in town.
Gleason Tibau over Peter Hallman. And then your main event, round 1, 2:59 into the round. Andre Arlovsky knocked out Antonio Bigfoot Silva.
Did you watch this on Fight Pass?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Double right hand. He
fell flat back and he just hammer-fisted his face.
Oh, shit.
And it was done.
The ballistic missile's back?
It is back.
All right. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, and Bigfoot got some good kicks, too, but just wasn't enough.
Not
well,
enough.
Well, it's because his TRT's low.
He's going to have surgery now. He's going to get that removed so he stops lactating. Bellator. That's what his coach said. I'm just quoting.
It's his foot they're working on it, right?
No, he has a cyst on his brain that causes his agromyalgia or whatever it is.
That's why alligators are so angry.
Yeah, because it's on his medulla oblongata.
Medulla oblongata.
And so he has to get the cyst removed so that it'll stop.
He'll stop
production.
lactating.
Yeah, stop lactating, according to his coach. Then we had your Bellator event. You had Emmanuel Newton taking out Joey Beltran with a spinning back fist again. So he keeps his belt again with a spinning back fist. First one was over King Mo.
Damn.
Now he took Joey Beltran out. Pretty interesting. We have LC Davis taking out Zelton Rodriguez. Ryan Couture over Tom Bagnasco. Did you guys watch any of the Bellator fights?
Negative.
No. I got to watch the highlights. And then, of course, we had our next episode of The Ultimate Fighter. What did you think of the new episode of The Ultimate Fighter? Did you like it?
Yeah. I thought the fight was pretty good.
Thought it was good. Yeah. What do you think about all the drama that's going on? We got some little bit of build up here, a little bit of build up. We got as Rowdy Beck Hyatt on her personal blog that she is writing for actually Fox Sports. She thinks that Heather Clark is also known as Diva Dickfuck, and she came across very cunty.
She's writing this on a professional blog?
Yes.
See you in Toledo.
Why so mad?
I can't even write that on my blog anymore. How the fuck did she get away with this?
Why so mad?
She says there's a lot of things that they aren't showing themselves, or showing things like playing cards. They're having a twerkathon. They've renamed Team Pettis Team Penis. But basically, her entire team was tired of Heather Clark complaining about her Vitamax blender.
So
for 4 weeks.
Which are badass.
4 times a day, they said, for a week before her daddy finally sent one in. So literally, she could get her bowel movements correct.
Are you shitting me?
No shit. No shit.
No shit.
She said she could finally shit right again, and yet by shit, I mean bowel movements. It's unbelievable. She finally got her blender. We told her she needed to cut the production some slack because she was coming across a bit of a cunt.
What's funny about this is that that's what we see. It's what we're hearing from the fighters on here is that they're saying on the show that they're getting sick of Heather Clark.
Oh yeah.
But then before we even saw the whole season premiere, Felice Herrig was like, everybody on the show felt like everybody was after me.
Well, yeah, but then the previous things that I saw way before the show started, when they first announced all the cast, Ariel Helwani was kind of a dick and was like, "So who don't you like already?
Get out of here!
Who don't
Ariel
you like already?
Helwani, a dick?
Who are you going to have problems with? Who do you think you're going to have problems? Who do you think?" And like just picking at everybody and everybody and everybody, and a lot of them did say Felice because of her image, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then they have the show, and everyone after the show says Heather Jo Clark is a fucking bitch. Like
really,
every single one of them was like, and I mean, straight up shut down. When she was in the van, which, by the way, apparently Team Melendez calls the Muff Wagon. Because it is the van that they take to and from practice every day. It's a bunch of chicks, so they nicknamed it the Muff Wagon.
Oh, somebody's going to have to put a retraction and an apology for that one.
And they basically said that when Heather Jo was like, "Look, I just want to make sure that we're not, spreading things to the other team and blah, blah, blah." And immediately Rose is like, "Yeah, I'm not about that cliquey shit. I'm going to fight you later anyway, so I don't give a fuck."
Right.
Like, we're not doing this. And she basically was trying to be all alpha. They just said alpha cat, I guess.
Because it's not like you can vote each other off.
Right.
You have to beat each other off.
Right. Not only that, but it's like...
I would watch the show.
Does that work in this season, though?
Maybe.
Flicking going on?
I don't know.
And you can obviously see that a lot of them, they said, worked slowly.
They don't call it flicking the bean in an MMA house. They call it the speed bag.
Speed bag?
Speed bag.
Speed bagging it.
Yeah.
So they're basically saying that, they got tired of her bullshit. That she was trying to come across as a leader and all this stuff. And they're like, we all have to fight you. We don't give a shit about you.
And Felice doesn't come off as having that alpha personality at all.
No.
She seems pretty cool. So
pretty bubbly. She says she's just herself, and she straight up says in multiple interviews and multiple blogs and multiple things that I'm just being myself. I'm not doing anything I wouldn't do normally. Yeah. And the fact is that I'm promoting myself because that's my brand. Yeah. I know what I'm doing. If they don't want to make money the way I make money, it's not my problem.
She scares me. Felice, like she'd be whooping your ass and laughing.
Yeah.
She told, 100%.
Like Mickey and Mallory, like Mallory.
Yeah.
I just...
Yeah, I didn't know anything about her. I mean, I knew that you were a big fan of her, when all this stuff started getting announced, but after we got to talk to her and stuff, like, she's...
Yeah. Very cool.
Very cool chick, but you're absolutely right. She
and
does
the
seem
Scott,
like the kind of
the Scott scares me, too.
Yeah, I love her.
She's too quiet.
Joanne?
And then the power, did you see when she kicked Pettis? Almost broke his arm.
Yeah.
He's like, hey.
That's the power.
We're practicing.
Now that's the power.
But you're right. No, her voice is like, she's like, by the way, I just poisoned your tea.
Exactly. And I really dug when she said, well, we're here to give people what they want.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm here for. I'm here to beat you and to give the people what they want.
And beat you standing up. And knock you out. And then I'll make you cake.
I'll make you carrot cake.
That's the best part.
Yeah. After I beat you up, I'm going to make you some carrot cake. Fucking psycho. Yeah. Brought me back to my childhood.
I like it.
After my mom whooped my ass and then come give me a slice of cake.
You took it well.
You only cried a little bit this time.
So, and then, of course, how do you think the fight went? I personally thought Joanne did plenty enough to win the fight. She did get the decision.
Yeah.
You said it was pretty close going back and forth.
I initially watching it, I thought it was pretty close going back and forth. I could have seen a third round coming out, but at the same time, I'm not disappointed with the decision either.
I think Joanne Calderwood's Muay Thai is what's shown through the most for me.
No.
And now, Emily Kagan did have some good stand-up. She had good head movement. She had definitely good angles. She was throwing the jab pretty well. But overall, I just thought anytime it got in close, especially in the clinch, the knees were raining hard.
Oh yeah, I maybe part of me too was watching it, like just kind of wondering if we were going to get another upset in the rankings, and maybe kind of pulling for the underdog.
But again, they say that the rankings didn't matter. That they really think that they just put together interesting matchups. That some of them kind of looked about right, but a lot of them.
I mean, obviously the odds of Heather and Felice getting matched up.
Yeah. They're a little story. And then, real interesting position towards the end of that second round.
Yeah, the woman died from that position in New Jersey yesterday.
Yeah.
And
The muffler.
The muffler.
That's pretty much what it seemed like. And it was a bit awkward because Joanne didn't want to give up the reverse head triangle, and Elise didn't really know what to do, so she stayed in mount and in guard.
And gave her the muffler.
And then you had Gil Melendez saying, just sit on her face.
Yes!
Just sit on her face.
Like, I couldn't believe that he said it more than once.
Just sit on her face. I'm like,
Because he's coaching it, and he don't hear it dirty.
Yeah.
He's just coaching.
Oh, no, that's why they didn't pan to him, because he's doing this.
Fuck her in the pudding.
Do the finger submission, the bowling ball.
I'm like, neither of you are doing anything in this position. There's nothing going. I mean, there was something going on, but there's nothing going on. Like,
it was awkward.
it was for at least a full minute, 2,
Oh yeah,
maybe 2.
maybe 2. It was a long time. It was long enough to be enjoyable, and then feel bad for it being enjoyable. Because it's still a fight. Still watching a fight, but damn it.
And then, what do you think about the rumors that we have? We have the little drama going on. We have the little Felice Herring giving Sergio.
See, he did it. He did it.
Felice Herring.
No, you said herring.
I did not say Herring. Play it back. Doesn't matter. Felice Herring giving Sergio Pettis a friendship bracelet. Little flirtation going on.
But he's only 20.
Yeah.
She's just being herself.
Yeah.
You don't care? Are you upset that she didn't send you one?
She said that she's going to make him for the entire team, but why did she start with Sergio?
Because he's cute.
And she wanted to know how big his wrist was.
Oh.
Hey, and I'm horrible with their
knows?
names, but the two that bumped heads.
Oh, Rose.
Do you believe? I think that was intentional because she was mouthing off to her.
That was Heather Jo Clark.
Yeah.
Which what they call, what does she call her again?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because
Make dick fuck or something like
Yeah.
that. Like that's what she just called
she's
her.
all, look at my face.
Yeah, and then Rose, who likes to hurt people and was tired of her shit.
Right.
Yeah, a little headbutt action. But
Yeah.
Rose had a shiner. They were showing she had a shiner. But,
Wait, that was Heather Jo Clark that got
but
the
Heather
headbutt?
Jo Clark got headbutted.
Somebody else was bleeding. I didn't think it
No,
was Heather
that
Jo
was Heather
Clark.
Jo
for some reason.
Clark.
Yeah, and she swung her out too. And
Yeah.
then she was like, look at my face.
She's
Rose.
like, sorry.
Sorry about it.
It happens.
And she had
It
a major hematoma too.
Yeah, it happens.
I think she gauged wrong because I think she was trying to put her forehead into her face and ended up catching her eyelid.
Sorry, sucks to be you.
And then we have, of course, now Team Pettis, the girls complaining about overcoaching. Do you think they were kind of overcoaching them a little bit? They were being a little nitpicky, or do you think it's just girls being girls?
There's two ways to look at this. You can say it's girls being girls, or you can say that the guys are being sexist and working them harder. I think these guys know how to coach. You know what I mean? I think these guys know what they're doing.
I think a lot of it. I mean, I think in interviews later that I've seen, they said it took them a while to get used to coaching women. That coaching women is completely different than coaching men. Especially if it's a whole cast of women. They're like, oh yeah, we have like 1 or 2 girls in our gym. We get along pretty good. We coach everybody. But when it's a whole cast of women, I think it's completely different. And I know Melendez said this when he was on the UFC Tonight, that it took them at least a few days to get into the groove because they react differently to being coached.
And that's obvious here, And like it's not like we didn't have drama with the all guy seasons. Obviously, we did. We had guys complaining. We had Gabe. Put me back
Tito
in,
didn't pick me.
Put me back in, coach.
Tito didn't pick me.
Yes, Tito didn't pick me. Put me back in, B. That kind of shit. I mean, So we've had every season. It seems like we have at least one complainer on the guys. But now we get to the girls' season and we have multiple. So obviously, I mean, we can definitely see that there's a huge difference with this physical training on how women react and how guys react.
To constructive criticism.
And a hard physical demand.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. You put me in this situation, I'd probably die on day one. But the coaches expect a different result, I guess, because of what they're used to training. And so, obviously they're going to have to make adjustments in order to make it work for the women.
Well, I just think I've never heard a football player after a coach told him a whole bunch of stuff. Oh God, I never do anything right, and that was a literal statement. Yeah. You know, when she was freaking out,
yeah, she said,
it's like I don't do anything
like
right.
I'm not
it's
doing
like,
anything right.
You're on a fucking show,
and I'm being overcoached and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, well, and that's where it's weird to me. It's like you feel like you're getting an overload of information where you're in a fight house for 6 weeks. You're going to have a lot. This is a high pressure environment,
right?
You know, granted, nobody's ever used to it when they come in there.
Right.
None of the fighters are. But like I said, you hear a complainer on a guy season, and we got multiple on the female season. Am I being sexist? Sure, call it what you want. I don't care. But the proof is in the pudding. You're seeing it happen.
Well, because they haven't even been part of the big show yet.
Yeah.
You know, and so really they're doing them justice by getting at them right now. Because you get out there in front of 70,000 people.
Yeah.
You might lose your shit.
Yeah, exactly.
With Struve.
You know, so I mean, they need the high pressure environment, and they can't call it overcoaching because these guys are coaching them just like they would coach anybody else, unless they are literally, unless the role is completely reversed and the guys are being sexist and they're pushing them harder because they want to be dicks.
I don't think
that's
happening either.
I do understand the angle, like where you're trying to say that they know they're on TV and they're trying to present themselves as the best coach possible.
Right.
But again, they're trying to, you are on TV, you are in the eye, so you've got to coach the best that you think you can coach.
And then we have next week coming up, we're going to have Jessica Penne, number 4, going up against Lisa Ellis, who's number 13. Now, these two have already fought previously in Invicta, and what some were calling the bloodiest women's MMA bout. I watched it again today on YouTube, which you can find. I'll post it up on our Facebook here. Dana White says that, Jessica Penne beat the living shit out of Lisa in the previous time. Pettis said it was one of the bloodiest fights I've ever seen. To be fair, it was a really close fight, back and forth, up until the very end, when Penne did open up a big cut on the bridge of her nose and inside of her nose, as well as over her eye of Lisa Ellis there, and so that's when the blood really started flowing. When she finally was able to mount from behind and basically rain down punches to where the referee stopped it in. I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of the blood that was all over the place. But it is what it is. I don't know if it's going to be the bloodiest match women's MMA history.
It could be. Depends on what time of the month it is.
I'm interested to see. I don't think they're allowed to fight during that time.
Don't they take saltpeter?
Look, somebody had to make a childish, petty tampon joke, and I fucking took it.
Nice plug. What kind of patchwork you got over there?
So we'll have to see if the rematch is just as bloody. Should be a good match.
You can't even stop saying bloody.
Yes, I have the mind of a 7-year-old. So what?
Is that the rusty muffler? Or?
Too far.
The rusty muffler.
Oh God.
Or we could just call it the Nortberg.
All right, so there you go. That wraps up another episode of Split Decision. Thank you so much for listening. Please share, tell your friends. Get the word out. Listen to the Felice Herrig interview. It was awesome. She's a lot of fun to talk to.
And we got a lot more big names coming.
We're always looking for more interviews, and we're always trying to hook you guys up with fun stuff to listen to. So, yeah, get us on Spreaker, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Of course, on iTunes, where you can also get Force Fed, the new YouTube album, and you can also get us on our website, which is Split Decision.
It's only if you have an
iPhone. Just send it right to you, right?
If you have an iPhone, it automatically gets sent to you
automatically
like herpes.
Yeah.
And you have to go to the anti-herpes website to get it removed.
You get herpes automatically sent to you if you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
I'm fucking glad I have Android.
It's a beautiful day.
Our official website, splitdecisionmma.com. And, of course, if you get us on Facebook, it's Split Decision MMA Podcast. Give us a like. Tell your friends. And on Twitter and Instagram, it is SD_MMA. It's Bueller and Dodge from the Rulop Family Inc. Studios saying have a good night, and we'll see you at the fights.